Hello and welcome to another Dear Diary with me, Jason Bowen, and thanks very much for entering my diary again. So let's get this video rolling. Dear Diary with Jason. So I'm on to another part of the painting. I'm doing the same bit, and the reason why is when I sat back and had a look, I noticed it wasn't quite right. There was areas that were a bit off, and there was something wrong with this bit. So I got my printout right next to it and started looking at it and added more of the brown highlights and shadows, and I think this just shows how good Rubens is compared to me, because he would have done this in one go, where here I am trying to do it again. But we gotta try, and I don't get it perfect, to be honest. I'm trying to get it close. There's no point in my mind to try and do this painting half-assed. I mean, I want to really get this looking good, looking close to the original, so I'm going to really work hard on it. And I've got this at the moment, I've got this warrior mentality, and I'll just keep battling until I get it done. And I've got to say, there's plenty of times when I think to myself, am I going to make it? And the little monkey mind goes, oh, I don't think you're going to be able to do this. I think it's a bit beyond you. But I know I can. I know that if I spend enough time on this painting, I can do it. There's no way I can't. And that's what I've got to remember. Because of oils, you can keep working them. You can keep going. You can with acrylics as well. You just keep going and going and going until you get it right. And when there's no time limit, then you can just keep going. And that's what I'm thinking in my head as I'm doing it. I'm like, well, if I don't get it dead on today, I'll work on it tomorrow. And that kind of mentality seems to be working for me. I suppose if he was doing this as a commission for somebody, say a museum wanted a copy of something, I'm not sure if that ever happens, but if a museum did want a copy of a painting and they say, oh, we want this in a month, we want you to do us a close as you can copy of, say, this painting by Rubens, and you've got 1 month to do it, then the pressure's on, where for me, there's no pressure. If a museum did approach me and asked me to do a copy of a painting, that'd be pretty exciting, actually. So if there's any museum bosses out there watching that want a copy of a painting doing, then drop me a line. I'll do them at a really good price, only a couple of million. So I'm throwing in some white paint here, bit of brown, bit of umber, bit of white. Having a look at the picture, always going from one to the other. You look more at your reference than you do the one you're painting, and I think that's the way you've got to do it. Really study that reference. And then after you've done a bit, sit back, have a look. I think I was moving something. Always. Yeah, here we go. I'm looking for the darks. Some people, when they do paintings, they say, oh, I always paint all the darks first. And some people will say, well, I go for the mid-tones first, and then I darken and light and do my darks and lights around them. And I tell you, there's no right or wrong way to do a painting. As long as the final result's good, it's right, isn't it? That's all that matters, really. this process is it doesn't mean anything if if the final result's good. That's the way I think, anyway. It doesn't matter what people say to you, and they say, "Oh no, you should do it this way. You should use this palette of colours, or you shouldn't do tons of glazes. You shouldn't paint alla prima. You should be building it up. You shouldn't do this. Shouldn't do that." It's all a load of rubbish. As long as the final result's good, that's all that matters. So don't listen to the art police. This is seriously though. All that matters is the result, isn't it? I know you're all nodding, you're all agreeing with me, so we'll move on from that point. So yeah, I'm working in the. I think I'm using burnt umber over this bit. Or was I using raw umber? I think I was using raw umber. You know, I can't remember. I'll have to look at one of my other videos. Looking at that palette, I've got Naples Yellow on, titanium white, and a bit of black, I think, and a bit of, it looks like burnt umber to me. But yeah, I really enjoy painting material. I used to be a bit scared of it because of all the detail and all the folds and stuff, but just paint it like anything else. Paint it like a tree. Everything's like a tree. So I'm just shaping that area of black, because I just roughly painted a bit in just so I got the darks. Now I go around that little bit of a, there's a bit of a white piece, it's sort of a ribbon or something on the top of that. So I hold a lot of brushes. You can see them all poking out there when I'm painting, because I'll put one colour, say a mid-tone, and I'll have that on one brush, and I'll have my dark on another brush and my light on another brush, and I end up holding tons of brushes, especially when you start doing colours as well, and you're doing a black, like the black, I'll have a brush, the red, I'll have a brush. End up with loads of brushes. I realised I didn't do that bit there, and I thought, while I've got the browns out, I might as well do that little bit at the bottom. So I'm just sort of filling it in. Just filling it in. Filling it in. Just blocking it in. And then I grab the reference and keep putting it over it and moving it. So I've got a new technique. And I've been using it a lot on this painting, and it's called the flipbook technique. And you'll see it more when I work on the portrait part of it. So I hold the reference up against the picture, and then I move it away quickly and put it back on, move it away, put it back on, and then I see the difference between the reference and my painting. And if you do it really fast, you can see, you know, like an animation, you do flick books and stuff, it's like that. So you do it really fast, and you can go, oh, that eye's slightly off, or oh, the nose is slightly off, or the colour there is slightly off. So then you can rectify it and do the flicking again, and then you see it come to life, and it's worked really well for me. So there's a little funny way of doing it, but it works. It works for me anyway. Because if you've done any animation, and I've done quite a bit in the past, animation, so I just thought of it. I thought that's a good idea. I've done it before once when I was doing this portrait for someone, and I was really struggling, and the picture I was using was pixelated, so it was even harder, and I was moving it really fast onto the picture and then changing it until I got it right. And if it wasn't for that technique, for the life of me, I wouldn't have got it right, because I really struggled. Yeah, so this bit of material is quite dark, so I start throwing in some more black into my brown because it was getting a bit light. I chucked a bit of red in with it as well. Sometimes I start working on instinct, and I forget that I kind of get into a zone. I think that's what it is. You get into like the painter's zone, and then I start just doing things and not really thinking about it, and then suddenly I have like this awareness of what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, never thought of that. I think you get like a colour instinct when you're painting for a bit, something like that. I have to think about that one. So, I'm just cleaning my palette. I use wet wipes to clean my palette, by the way, if you're wondering how to clean your palette, because I did get a question recently, how do you clean your palette? I use a wet wipe, baby wipes, and wipe it away. I like to start with a clear palette, clean colours. I'm not one for saving paint, mainly because I don't put that much out on my palette. I just put it out as I need it. I don't usually have massive blobs of paint to chuck away, so I don't worry about that too much. So I'm working on this bit of material on this side, and to be honest, I paint it way too dark. I don't know why. I remember thinking as I was doing it, this is a bit dark, but I just carried on anyway. That's something I'm going to have to rectify in the future. I'm using Naples Yellow and white as my highlight colour, and with that bit of black as well. It's a bit of black and a bit of brown. Naples Yellow and white. So really, I'm not really using loads of colours for this. So my eyes are tired today. I was up early this morning for work. Nice and early. I like doing these highlights. I do like doing highlights. That's why I like sometimes just throwing in a mid-tone like I did there, and then putting highlights on top. The highlights are so nice to do. They flow out so well. And that material that I'm doing there, I think it would be quite flowy, quite silky. So I was thinking that when I was doing it. And now we're on to the face. We had a break, we had a cup of tea, had a biscuit, sat back, looked at the picture and thought, that face looks awful. We're going to have to work on it. So the paints are out again, the yellow ochre, the cadmium red and titanium white, mixing the colours. We got the picture right up to a reference right up to it like before. There's some more white out. I always mix darker than what I need first. It's become a bit of a habit actually, and then I lighten it. It seems to work. I've got some linseed oil because we're doing another layer of paint on top of this paint. So you need a drop of linseed oil into your paint to make it fatter. You know, the fat over lean technique. The paint that's down first is the most lean, and then you just add oil and oil and oil and oil as you build it up, as long as you remember. I did a painting once, and I did this fat overlean technique, well, supposable fat overlean technique, and I forgot to put linseed oil in the next layer. And then I remember painting the next layer after that, and I was putting linseed oil in, and I thought to myself, oh, I didn't do it in the previous layer. Oh well. And I just carried on, and I've still got that painting, and it's been fine, so I don't know. Maybe it'll all crack in a year or two. I don't know. It seems fine at the moment, anyway. So I'm mixing my colour, checking it against the picture. Look at that, holding my brush, I'm like, oh, that's so close, that's so close. A bit of more white in, check it again, oh, it's so close, looks like that area. And then this bit, getting skin colours right, it is hard. I haven't done enough portraits to get it right, really. And I was thinking that as I was doing it, I was like, wow, I'm not practiced enough. But then it's that mind again saying, oh, you're not practiced enough. But then I just thought, sod it, just go for it. Just start throwing in colour, just keep using the reference, throw in the colour, and then things happen, things develop. It's that thing again. I'm always gonna keep going, and no matter what, this painting eventually is gonna look awesome. And I don't have that doubt in my mind that it won't, because it will, and I don't care what I have to do, what I have to learn to get there. I'm gonna do it, and that's my drive for this painting. So I've got some Naples Yellow on my brush now. I know Rubens used Naples Yellow, so if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. It does make a nice highlight, actually, Naples Yellow and white. I can see why they used it a lot back in the day. It felt good putting paint on here. Because not really done much in this area, and once this is built up, it's going to make the painting better. Once the face is right, once the face looks right, if you look at the painting and the face looks right, I'm 3/4 of the way there, because my material's not bad. The background, wow, I can do a little bit more work on it, but if the face is right, then I've cracked it, haven't I? If I can paint the portrait right, I can paint the rest right. Or close anyway. Because that's the hardest bit. If you're doing a painting of a masterpiece or whatever, the focus on the face, because that's going to be the hardest, so spend the most time there. So I'm doing the lips now, and really in my mind thinking I need to throw colour down, I need to fill this in, all these greyish spaces that you can see the gesso, it needs disappearing now. It needs to be filled, and I'm going in between my white and cadmium red. I think I threw a little bit of yeah, cadmium red light on there. I thought that he would have used the same red as the material, but I couldn't seem to get a very good colour. So I threw in some cadmium red light and started mixing that with the white to make more of a pinkish hue. It's funny when the lips go in, you start to see the face activate in a way. It's like the life starts to come into the face. I mean, I'm a long way off, but it's starting to build up. I'd be interested to know how long it takes you to paint a portrait. If you've painted portraits and they look amazing, then post in the comments. Let us know how long it takes to paint a portrait. Even if they don't look amazing, if they look alright. If they look as good as mine, well, you'll have to wait a few weeks to see it. Nah, I'm hoping to get cracking on this now. Yeah, but if you've done portraits, let us know. And let us know your method as well. Do you paint all in one go, alla prima style? Do you build up the colours like this, or do you build up in glazes? How do you do it? I used a paper towel now. So what I was thinking when I was doing this is I really like that dark reddish tone underneath. It brings out the warmth of the face. And to get that colour on the cheek, I needed to tone down what I just put on. So I started dabbing my paper towel, and it gets rid of some of the paint. And amazingly, some of the colours were spot on when I did that, especially around the cheek area. And I thought to myself, well, that works. I have done it before when I wanted to tone a colour down, but I've never thought of doing it on a portrait. I've never done this before, and it worked. And I actually got it off Tom Keating, an art forger. He used to do it, and and according to him, which I think is probably right, the masters used to as well. They used to put their paint on and then use a sponge and sponge it off, like similar to what I did with a paper towel. The paper towel was pretty much my sponge, and then you get the amount of paint on that you need. And something amazing that I was kind of surprised about and totally didn't realise, it blended so well. When I was using the paper and going boink, 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 the paint just blended so well. It was so smooth. And I'll definitely use that idea again in the future. You see, I'm learning as I go, really. I've never done anything so hard, and the scale difficult. The difficulty level. I've not done something so difficult as this before. Well, I've done paintings that I found difficult, but this one, in difficulty level, I would say it's an advanced painting. It's for me anyway. So I'm starting to put in the darks now, and I've noticed the darks have a reddish tone to them. So I've been mixing my black with a bit of red to make my dark tone, and putting the lines in, put the line for the lips, and looking at the shadows now of like where that lip is. And you could use a bit of a blend when you do that as well, because of some of the skin colours on and it's still wet. when you put your line on, you can blend it out a little bit. It's funny watching myself put a bit of paint on, check it, put a bit of paint on, check it. You spend less time actually putting paint on the board. You spend more time mixing colours and checking your colours rather than painting, and it's quite amusing. I suppose when you get really used to this, you won't be doing that quite as much because you train your eye to see the colours better. That's what I think. See what I mean? I tell you that colour on the nose and on the top of the head, it's quite a hard one for some reason. But I get fairly close, but I need to make it closer. So I'm going to spend another 1, 2, maybe 3 sittings on the face after this. But you'll see. I've inserted a full size image of what I've done at the end, so you'll be able to see how I finished it. But I'm starting to fill in all those greyish bits with colour. So that was really my plan for this sitting, to fill everything in and start putting in definitely the lips. And I definitely wanted the lips in. I definitely wanted to tone areas a little bit. Areas like that pinky area, I needed that in. I really wanted to get the cheek colour in, which I'm really happy about. And then I wanted to fill in the neck area and the bosom. So I do the tappy tap tap again, tappy tap tap, and blend that away, and then some more tappy tappy tap, tap 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 tapping. And yeah, we're really starting to get somewhere. And then I thought, I need to start working on the eyes a little bit, spend a little bit of time on the eyes, and then see how far I get. I try and limit myself a little bit on this painting, and sit down and paint for about 1.5 to 2 hours max at a time. And sometimes I just do 1 hour and 15 minutes and then put my brushes down and do a bit of Tai Chi. Because I do Tai Chi Chuan. I've been doing it a long time, and it's good exercise. So I do a little bit. I do a bit of painting, and then I'll do some work on my kung fu, and then I'll go back and do some more painting. Because when when I'm painting, I get a little bit. I guess my head needs clearing again. That's why the Tai Chi is good for me. It clears my head a little bit, and then I can go back again with a clear mind. It's funny watching this bit. If I could travel back in time and tell myself little tips on how to do some of these bits. God, my eyes are tired. My eyes just wanting to close then. And I was like, oh. Early mornings, early mornings. It's alright. I can go for a nap after I've done this. I just wanted to get this done because it's been a bit of time since my last one went out, and I wanted to get this one done and out so you could see where I'm at. And I know some people are doing this painting as well, so it'd be interesting for you to see how far I've got to as well. I like seeing other people doing this one. It's interesting. So I just used black to do those eyes. I think there was a bit of blue in it, but actually the eyes have got a little bit of blue in. I put the little white dots in the eye to give it some life as well. And then I thought to myself, it'd be a good idea to get the some hair in, get some blocking some hair. And then that's another area blocked in, another bit of colour there that I can use. So it's raining at the moment. It's been raining, which is good for my garden that I've been planting. I've been putting plants in this garden, and I'm hoping that it all goes into bloom, and then I can take pictures of it or go out there with my easel and do some paintings of flowers, ones that I've grown from seed, mainly because it's cheaper. But yeah, there's a few plants in there as well, but most of them I've grown from seed. I'm looking forward to watching them grow. I've been out there nearly every day with my watering can, nurturing them, talking to them. Also, here we go. I'm on to my favourite part of the painting. The neckline. Yeah, what did you think I meant? So, I really just wanted to rough this in. I was not thinking smooth in this area. I was just thinking I want to get colour in here. There's a big area that's got no colour in, and it needs some flesh tones. And then, of course, with it filled in, it gives me a better chance of seeing the whole painting. That's what I want to see, the whole thing together. I'm looking forward to watching Clive's next episode, actually. His painting's really coming along. I'm really impressed. Really impressed with what he's doing. It's amazing what you can do when you really put a lot of time and effort into a painting, and you really, I think with this, me and Clive, we both want to do our best in this painting, and we're really trying hard, and the results are really good. I think he's doing really well. So check it out. Check out how he's doing it, because he's doing it differently to me. He's got a different method. He's using acrylics, and he's using glazing, and he's painting very well. And he's experimenting as well, like I am, experimenting on my techniques and working on my colour mixes, and like now, here I am highlighting this bosom. Who would have thought it, eh? Who would have thought back when I started landscapes, I would do a painting like this? Painting the form of a beautiful woman from 16 something. I can't remember. Yeah, mixing paint, trying to get the colours right. I don't know why this went slightly out of sync with my footage. So yeah, we'll basically look for the dark areas, put them in, look for the light areas, put them in, and the illusion of boobs happen. The cleavage appears as if by magic. Obviously, when this picture is finished, it'll be on my bedroom wall. Sometimes I crack myself up. Yeah, I was quite happy at this point because I do find the face really hard. So it was a breast. It was a breath of fresh air to do this part. So there we go. Here's the painting so far. This is the zoom out. This is where I've got to, and there's a lot more to do, but I'm gonna do it. So thanks very much for watching this diary. It's a diary episode, and hopefully I'll see you at another episode. Don't forget to check out my Facebook if you want to message me if you have a question, or use the comments. Use the comments here for questions. It's probably easier. But if you want to show me a picture that you're working on, maybe you're doing this painting and you want to share it with me, then send me it, because I love seeing it. I'd love to see it. And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon page, where you can sponsor me for as little as $1 a month and help me quit my job so I can just make art videos, which is all I want to do, to be honest. But you know, it's not easy. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Cheers, bye.